we are very aware of the need for rural community involvement in rhino conservation. And in actual fact, going back to the so-called Committee of Inquiry, which was commissioned by the Department of Environmental Affairs, there was a very strong approach to the committee through the public participation process for community involvement in rhino conservation. So that can be a direct and an indirect intervention. So we certainly are very supportive of, and there are a number of reserves that are already engaging in conservation initiatives with communities, and we are looking similar to the very successful model that you see in Namibia, where you have these so-called custodian programs. There's if one looks at the Black Rhino Expansion Program, the so-called BREP program, again a very good example, a template as to how it could be done. So we don't want to go and reinvent the wheel. We will certainly learn from the Black Rhino Range Expansion Program successes and try to implement a similar module with white rhino. When you look at the Black Rhino Expansion Program, the module is a very simple one. We would identify a particular property, and then there would be stringent criteria laid in terms of how those populations are to be managed and obviously how they are to be secured. Once that particular property has had all the necessary boxes ticked, you would introduce into that property, that environment, a core population, let's say 15 animals. And the condition would be that at a time in the future, 15 animals could be removed for purposes of repopulation elsewhere. So depending on how successfully that seed population breed, you would start off with 15 animals. Over a period of time, they may grow to 25 animals. You would remove then 10 animals at a time in the future and use those 10 and another 5 from another property and repeat the process, as long as you never remove the core population of 15. And the community would enjoy the benefit of then the surplus animals once the, so to say, the original 15 have been repaid. So they would always enjoy the retained growth after the 15 have been repatriated. And it's a very self-liquidating process, so you don't always have to wait for another 15. We could take 5, 5, and 5 and create a 15 for a new population relocation. So we have land available through land redistribution that has already taken place by the South African government. But however, on the management and infrastructure side, we need funding. So we're talking about fences, we need a management structure in place, security, and so it carries on. Those rural communities don't have it, and we certainly would be prepared to support it, but conditional on that revenue coming from some form of commercial trade in rhino horn. We simply don't have money. There are a number of reserves that have already sold all of their rhino because of risk and cost, and there are a number of reserves that are facing bankruptcy as a result of not being able to sell rhino and simply not being willing to abandon their conservation initiatives. So the situation is not good.